Go! Hey everybody, welcome to the Kyle and Not Kyle Show Week 11 recap. Had a great group of games this week. I actually really enjoyed
No, the
Something
stupid
that I
Oakland
watched.
one.
that one. We'll get to that one in a moment. So starting out, we had Thursday Night Football, Packers at Seattle. Seahawks won 27-24. Packers defensive line actually played pretty well. They were getting some penetration. Not enough, but
I don't care which team it is right now. I would not want to play
Nope.
Seattle.
nope.
Because I feel that you're going to walk out of the game with not as many guys as you came
Yep,
into.
and I even have that. If I'm in a tight spot record-wise heading to the playoffs, the last team I want to play right now is Seattle.
They're so busy.
Yeah,
So
they
busy.
punch you in the mouth.
Even their offense punches you.
Yeah, exactly. I've been pleasantly surprised watching Aaron Jones, the running back for Green Bay. You know, there were a lot of questions
Yeah,
about what
yeah.
to do. He's actually put together a decent season. I didn't write down the stats, but he actually has pretty respectable stats for the running back position. My
Okay,
biggest.
so we had a conversation. I'm not interrupting.
No, you're good. You're good.
We had a conversation last week about is Mike McCarthy in the hot seat.
Yes.
I watched that game. Aaron Rodgers made some bad decisions.
Oh,
It wasn't calls.
I
from
completely
the-
agree.
So, do you think
agree.
this is going to be one of those? If McCarthy leaves, it's because they just paid Rodgers, and that's who they're going to go with.
I think so.
Okay. Then my prediction is,
Mhm.
if that happens, they will never again take that division.
I agree.
If they get rid of the coach because of the player.
I agree. I mean, there were multiple situations where it's like 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, and he's looking for the deep ball. It's triple covered,
Yep.
and there's 2 or 3 guys past the goal or past the down marker,
Yep.
wide open. Nobody's within 5 feet of him, and he doesn't even look at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's not a coach.
You don't want the hero. I'd rather get keep the drive alive than going for the hero ball 50 yards downfield.
Yes.
Because you
And that
have at
guy
least
that-
3 more
who-
tries
who's-
to get the next down.
Who is the guy that he has? He has one of the best. That guy is good.
It's Devontae Adams.
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy is.
Well, and that rookie, Stan, some blah blah, Velding, I don't even know how you say his name. Some rookie wide receiver. He's been making some plays for him. And yeah, so that was just a. And then the one thing I do actually kind of blame on Mike McCarthy is on 4th and 2 at the end of the game, and they punt. You have Aaron Rodgers, 2-minute warning and a timeout. Why not go for it?
Because he couldn't do it on 3rd down 3 times prior to that.
Yeah, but also there's a good chance you don't see the ball again anyway if you punt, which is what happened. For me,
so
I
what
would.
if he threw a pick? What if they didn't make the touchdown? Then they score.
No,
then
you
there's
don't have to go for the touchdown. Just go for it, and you keep
no,
going.
no. But what were they on the 30?
Something like that, yeah.
If you don't, now Seattle's defense was stopping a lot of that. You just gave Seattle. You're down by 3, I think it was, and now they're inside the 30. They're going to score a touchdown. You got an in score.
I think
2
no, they would have. They would
I
have been
always
able.
look at it as
They would have been.
we have
They
faith
would have
in
just
our
had to
defense.
run one series of downs and then take a knee. They
Or
wouldn't even
score
hit-
again.
Yeah, or score again. But yeah,
But you see what I'm saying?
I had an issue with that. For me, I would rather lose the game because you couldn't get 4th and 2 than lose the game because you punted the ball away and never got the ball back.
Yeah, but if you think your defense can stop the other team's offense, you punt the ball.
But they weren't. That's the thing.
They weren't doing bad. It's not like
No, they weren't. No, they weren't doing bad. But
Seattle
they
was
weren't doing.
running the ball.
They
Like
weren't doing
crazy.
bad, but they weren't doing good.
Yeah, but neither one of
Neither
those
team was, and so
yeah, the defenses were doing pretty well.
if it was at home, I would understand the punting a little bit more, just because the crowd is going to factor in a little bit, because that crowd's going to get riled up and fired up, and they're going to be loud
And they were.
in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Seattle's always a loud stadium, but yeah. So that was my issue with that. I didn't agree with that call, but
But that didn't lose them the
that
game.
just me
they
wanting
couldn't
to be
stop.
aggressive.
They,
No.
they couldn't stop.
No.
That was what it is.
Yeah,
They just ran and ran and
yeah.
ran. So far, nobody has stopped Seattle's running game.
Well, Seattle started like 0-2 or 0-3, and now they're 5-5,
Yeah.
and they're trending upward.
Well, the 2 losses in that time were to the Rams for a total of 5 points. Oh, I know. They also lost to the Chargers by 3 points.
Yeah. And they hung with the Rams in LA 2-3 weeks ago or whatever. when they played
Yes,
them
I
last
thought
year.
they were
Yeah.
going to win.
Yeah.
There was a couple
Yeah,
times I
it
was
was
going,
like,
okay, they're
oh my
gonna win.
gosh.
Yes, and they ran.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It was like I don't right now. I don't know of another team that's running like they are. Like just absolutely.
Like Seattle?
Yes,
Yeah, I don't know.
right between the guard and the tackle.
Yeah.
Right between the center and the guard.
Yeah.
Just right up the gut.
Yeah. So that was Thursday night football. Moving on to Sunday, probably the third most talked about game of the week due to some very unfortunate happenings.
Oh, yeah.
Texans at Redskins. Texans win 23-21. The return for Houston of Kevin Cootie. He's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
He had 77 yards on 5 catches. Had the most yards of any Texans wide receiver. Had more than DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, but he opens up Hopkins even more.
Exactly. And he is a perfect complement for Hopkins.
Yes.
Because it's Hopkins going to take the top off the defense, which gives him all that room.
Mhm.
Watson's interception in the first quarter. See, this is the thing I hate. Interceptions counting as the quarterback. He underthrew the ball a little bit, but the wide receiver bobbled it right into the defender's hands.
Yeah.
And those are the ones I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, but the quarterback also gets I'm going to pass the ball in the backfield 6 inches farther, and then the guy's going to run it for 82 yards. I just got 82 yards.
Right.
So it balances out.
Yeah. The pick 6 by the Houston rookie cornerback, Justin Reed. Oh, he just completely jumped that route. I saw that highlight and went, ooh, I love seeing that kind of play. I did find it funny. There was a linebacker that the minute he starts running, he goes, yeah, and stops. Meanwhile, there's like 5 Redskins running past him to try and stop him. He's like, oh, I need to go after them. Kudos to, I think, was the defensive tackle that actually tried to get a block for him. But yeah, the Redskins, this game is going to give them nightmares.
Yep.
In case you haven't heard by now, because you've been living under a rock, Alex
Which is
Smith.
why you're watching this show.
Yeah, Alex Smith suffered a very gruesome injury.
This is tibia.
Tibia and fibula.
Was both?
Tibia and fibula.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of them. I believe it was actually a compound fracture as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't watch it if you haven't seen it yet. This is eerie. So it was 33 years to the day of Joe Theismann's injury. And here's some comparisons between the two. They both happened on the 40-yard lines. The final score was the same both games. Romeo Crennel was on the opposing sidelines both times. He was a special teams coach for the Giants. He's a defensive coordinator for the Texans right now. Both injuries were to the right leg. Both quarterbacks end the season with a 301 passing attempts.
Now that's the weird stat.
Yeah.
That's the one that...
Oh, no. The Broncos and Chargers played both days. Like Broncos versus Chargers was another game both days.
Yeah.
The Lions and Steelers both won the 2 weeks. And the Bengals and the Bucks both lost those weeks.
Interesting.
It's just creepy. Like I'm seeing all these reporters
Yeah, but
and
it's
stuff
also
are
not
digging
total.
up.
It wasn't the Giants. It's 'cause it was
No,
Crennel,
no, it's
which
not
means
total.
Only Crennel out of the entire coaching staff of 2 teams.
Right.
One guy. I mean,
Well, Theismann was there too, so you got 2 guys in the stadium that saw both injuries.
yeah, but Theismann wasn't.
One of them felt
Yeah.
it.
He's all, ah!
But he said he saw the injury and he had to turn away
Yeah.
because he's like I can't. And he tweeted out just like mine. So yeah, best wishes to Alex Smith.
And he's out for the year.
He's
And
out
they
for
were
the
up.
year.
They were up in that division by 2 games, I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
And
I don't.
I'm interested to see how Colt McCoy does because
I
he
am
didn't
too.
do bad before.
Fun stat. So they play the Cowboys Thursday night or Thursday afternoon.
Did they play Cowboys after this injury with Theismann?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
That would be freakier even more.
Colt McCoy has never lost to the Cowboys. I think he's like 3-0 against them or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, so that was just creepy. And that just topped off his day because he had 2 straight drives that resulted in interceptions before the injury. So yeah, best wishes to him. He's out for the year. Interesting thing, when Theismann went out, it ended his career. Medicine and
Oh yeah.
that has come along so far that they're saying there's no doubt he'll play
That's
next
back when they were smoking on the sidelines.
year. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we get to what we call the crap game of the week.
That's it.
We both lied. Both of us were wrong. Neither of us thought there would be more than 5 points scored this game. Both teams scored over 20.
And
It seems like you can't
because
mention-
Oakland won, they've pushed themselves out of the running for first pick. It's solely right now the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Cardinals' only wins this year have been against the Niners.
And it seems like every time we talk about the Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald gets brought up.
Oh,
He had 2 touchdowns. The first one was just goes up and
Yeah.
fingertips it in. Still one of the best wide receivers in the league. In terms of resume and career stats, he is the best receiver in the league right now.
It's not close.
Oh my gosh, no. But they have someone he's been getting a little bit of hype. We haven't really talked about much. Christian Kirk. He's the rookie wide receiver. I think he played at Texas
he
A&M.
came in with Rosen.
Yeah, he is developing really
that's
good,
Rosen's.
really well. Yeah, that's his guy.
Yeah. And Rosen they are on their 2s and 3s on the line.
Yep.
And I believe in one instance it's their 4.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's like with Sam Darnold. It's like they're not doing bad with a horrible front line.
No. One little shout out to Brandon LaFell, the Raiders wide receiver, made a great toe tap touchdown catch. He used to play for New England. I saw him make those in person.
He played for Cincinnati for a while.
Yeah, he played for Cincinnati for a couple years. He's kind of trying to make a comeback, and he tore his Achilles. Out for the year. There were some fireworks on the sideline, though. A couple of times, cameras caught Carr and Gruden kind of going at it.
Well, it's about time.
Right?
When Gruden was with Oakland before, him and Rich Gannon would be absolutely screaming at each other.
Yeah. So the thought that there's going to be a new quarterback in Oakland next season is seeming to be more and more of a reality now.
They don't have to pay Carr.
Bingo.
So where does Carr end up?
Depending on the coach, I could see Tampa Bay or Jacksonville trying to bring him in. He's an upgrade from Bortles.
But by how much? I'm not really sure even about that. I thought he was just all of a sudden. They had one season where they won 11 games, and he broke his leg, and they're like, "We're going to pay him because we're going to be going to the Super Bowl next year." They haven't even sniffed 8-8.
Right. Great final drive by the Raiders to get down there to score the field goal.
As far as the teams with losing records, it was actually a pretty good game.
Exactly, it was. Now we're getting to the Sunday night game. I enjoyed watching that one, but I love watching great defense. Vikings at Bears. Vikings at Bears. So Bears won 25-20.
That was a good.
So I am really becoming impressed with Mitchell Trubisky.
He runs too much still.
He runs too much.
Way
I do agree.
too much.
I do agree. But
him and
you can
Dak
see
Prescott,
his accuracy is getting better and better each game.
Well, they've got, I think, the best one. I'm going to put Seattle up there at number 1, but them right close after best 1-2 running back combination.
Yeah, Cohen and Howard.
Yeah. That is just a good running back combination.
And this Bears team, I got thinking about this when I was rewatching the game. It reminds me of the Bronco team, Peyton's final year. How they have a mediocre to decent offense, but just a kick-ass defense that's going to just pound you into the ground every chance they get.
By the addition of one.
Yep. Well, and all the defensive players have said he elevates our game.
Oh, it's apparent.
It's very apparent. So get this. Per ESPN, Chicago leads the league with 97 points off its NFL best 27 takeaways. They rank first.
27.
They rank first in interceptions.
Were we in week 11?
We're in week 11.
It's essentially 2 to 3 a game.
Yeah. They rank first in interceptions with 18, first in defensive touchdowns with 5, and first in forced fumbles. Take a guess how many forced fumbles they've caused this season.
15.
16 forced fumbles this season. They have the league's best turnover ratio at plus 13. Khalil Mack is the only player since 1982 when they started counting sacks and defensive stats to have 7 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and an interception in his first 7 games with the team because he missed a few games because of injury and stuff. I honestly think Defensive Player of the Year is going to come down to Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald. It's ridiculous. Akeem Hicks, he's like Vince Wilfork. He used to be in New England, and then he joined with Chicago. He moved to Chicago like 2 or 3 years ago. Said he wanted to be part of the rebuild there and stuff. He may not have the best stats, but he creates plays for every other player on that line. I mean, a couple of the Mac plays, they show him, and he's taken on 2 or 3 guys.
I know the 2 linebackers in Kansas City's good.
Yeah.
D Ford and Justin Houston. That's a good combination.
Yeah. One guy on offense I was impressed with, Taylor Gabriel. He's carved for himself a little niche there in Chicago. I think he was drafted by the Browns and went and played with Atlanta for a few years, including when they went to the Super Bowl. But he's kind of taken the place of Kevin White, who's a former first-round pick. This was his 3rd straight inactive game. I think they said he's only played in like 20 games, and he's in like his 3rd season or something. It's terrible. So a lot of people think they're actually going to move on from him.
Sure.
And this is interesting. I'm going to see if you can get this. Guess how many catches Thielen and Diggs have combined?
Combined. 240.
Oh, gosh, no. 136.
Really?
Thielen has 78.
Wasn't Thielen averaging 10 a game?
He's had a couple games, though, where he hasn't done much.
Okay.
Thielen has 78. Diggs has 58. They broke a record that was set by Dallas Clark and one of the other wide receivers in Indy in 09.
Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, Reggie. I think it was Reggie Wayne. But yeah, so I thought that was really interesting.
Dallas Clark was a tight end, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a good game. Vikings tried to make it a game, but that defense just defense is so good. They were so fun to watch. I think I couldn't find the stat. I had to go back and try and rewatch the game.
With Green Bay's loss and Minnesota's loss, and on Thursday night, Thursday, Monday, Sunday night.
Thursday, Chicago, and
Sunday
Detroit.
night.
Sunday is Green Bay,
Sunday
and Minnesota.
If they beat Green Bay, they are 4 games up in that division.
Yeah. If Chicago, no.
They beat Detroit.
If they beat Detroit, yeah.
Because Green Bay plays Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm just going, who would have thought? We didn't.
Oh, we had them getting 3 wins.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting. I tried to find the stat. I couldn't. It really ticked me off. I was looking everywhere online for it. I think they said the Bears have 14 different players that have sacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next closest team, I think they said, only has like 7 players that have sacks. It's a ridiculous stat.
Wow.
It's
That is.
like this is one guy has made this much difference on that defense. This is insane.
And then the Monday night game, I don't know what to say about it other than you have to watch it.
Yeah, if you haven't,
we can't actually adequately explain.
I'm going to give some stats, some interesting
But
tidbits.
even this isn't going to do.
No.
It's not
This stats I have a whole page of
incredible
stats.
Catches, incredible runs, incredible throws, incredible defensive plays,
Oh my
incredible
gosh.
offensive plays,
Yeah.
incredible, or actually not really any
Incredulous penalties.
Oh,
That's the one downside. The penalties are terrible in this game.
there's more in the first quarter though.
Yeah,
than I think in the rest of the game.
Um,
But that game is going to go down, I think, as
game of the year.
well. I just still don't think it's a game of the year. It was exciting, but I don't know if that was a game of the year.
That's the best. The best Monday Night Football game I think I've ever watched.
Oh, see, I remember the Miami Jets Monday night game.
Yeah.
And then way back in the day, I was a little guy.
Dating yourself here, Rob.
Yeah, I was a little guy, but Oakland and Pittsburgh.
So yeah, if you have not had a chance to watch this game yet, watch this game.
You have to. It's one of those games. There are so many different kinds of tackles, So many different kinds of hits, so many different kinds of catches. The one thing I will say about the Rams that I did not think they were going to be able to overcome, and it might be that the fires and they weren't having to go to Mexico and everything. I don't think they missed Cooper Kupp. And I thought that because he's the only guy that lowers his head and blasts him.
Yeah.
I don't think they missed him.
No.
I think they might.
Yeah, I agree.
And the other thing is they both have buys, which I'm actually happy for, because they both left it all on the field. Yeah. There was no, well, they should have done this more. It's like, no, they were going absolutely crazy.
No. I
will say this, and I said this in our very first podcast. Mahomes is going to lose them 3 games.
Yep. He lost them this one.
He lost them this one, yes. He had 5 or 6 touchdowns, but those three picks
interceptions
were.
And the last 2 came as they were trying to get a drive put together.
Yeah. And then he had 2 strip sacks for touchdowns.
Yeah. So,
which is one of those things you can't.
Yeah. The quarterback cost him 5 turnovers, 14 points. Ugh.
Well, and the 14 points. Well, no, I think it cost him more than 14 points.
Yeah, I think it cost them 17 because I think they have a field goal.
Because the strip sacks were touchdowns.
Yeah. So here are some stats for the game.
They were still in this game. They're switching leads.
Yeah. The over/under was 60, and you and I both said the minute we saw that was, that's
90,
terrible.
90,
It's gonna be. It was passed by 28 points with 9 minutes left to play.
Well, I remember going into the fourth
and according
quarter,
to Yahoo's Frank Schwab, this was the largest over/under ever in an NFL game.
Oh wow.
Teams were previously 216-0 when scoring 50 or more points.
Oh yeah.
Way to go, Andy Reid! Also, the first time both teams scored 50 or more points, that via Elias Sports Bureau.
Well, you have to go back before the merger. I was listening to it on the radio. They were doing stats of this. It was before the merger. It was one was the NFL, but it wasn't today's NFL.
Yeah. And
I'm going. There's like the 1936 Cleveland Browns and the 1936 New York Giants scored this amount of points. It's like, but it was like the Browns scored 76 points and the other one's 30. I was like, wow.
So Todd Gurley had 0 touchdowns, but it's okay because linebacker Samson Ebukam, I'm sure I butchered that name, had 2. One fumble recovery, 1 pick six, and the pick 6 that was a great catch for a big guy.
Yeah. Well, here's what I noticed. Most of the time, the defensive line are big and strong, and they kind of just press.
Yeah.
Donald is extremely athletic. I also think
he proved it on the.
I also think their best acquisition in the offseason wasn't Talib, it wasn't Peters, it wasn't Cooks, it was Sue. Sue is eating up 3 guys on the line.
Yep.
And that's why Donald is having. I mean, Donald had a good season last year, but he's on pace right now to break the sack record, I believe, after this.
So here's how many I don't know if this is accurate because this was a screen grab I got rewatching the game. Aaron Donald has 13.5 sacks this season, which is the lead in the NFL. He is double teamed on 72% of defensive snaps. And he has 13.5 sacks. Oh, speaking of leading the NFL, so the Chiefs and Rams combined for 14 touchdowns in this game. Jeez. The Bills have 13 all season.
Yeah, but why are we even talking about the Bills?
Oh, because I have some great stats about the Bills.
Because you're a Patriots fan.
No, I love. Oh yeah.
You're not saying any Steelers.
Ebukam has as many touchdowns in this game as the Bills had in the entire month of October.
This should be around the league. This should be our thoughts from around the league, not our recap of.
There were 105 combined points. That's 3rd most in NFL history and the most ever in a Monday Night Football
all
game.
All we're doing is reading off stat lines. It has to be seen. Yeah. You have to watch it.
Yeah. The Buccaneers had more yards against the Redskins than the Rams did against the Chiefs. The Bucs scored 3 points. The Rams scored 54.
The Bucs had 500 yards?
They had like 534 yards or something and only scored 3 points.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a really interesting Twitter account. It's Scorigami. They report on stuff.
Score a gun.
So 54-51 is the 1,045th unique NFL final score.
Well, that I don't. Like I said, they were talking about
Yeah.
the points going over 100, and it was like the 1932 or 30. You're going, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had football back then.
So per NFL research, Abukum has a fumble return and a pick six. He joins Bears safety Eddie Jackson from Week 7 of 2017 as the only players with both a pick six and a fumble return for a touchdown in the same game in the last 10 seasons.
Oh, and I did hear Mahomes tied some.
Yeah, for most touchdowns.
Yes, but do you know who it was? He tied with. This just every time I hear this guy's name, I'm going. To be able to have watched this guy must have been like watching Babe Ruth. Sammy Baugh. Pre-merger.
Uh-huh.
Back when they ran all the time.
Right.
He had 6 throwing touchdowns. That's like 1947 or something. It's like, are you kidding me?
Right. Aaron Donald is one of 4 players with 20-plus sacks and 5 forced fumbles since the start of 2017. The other 3, Von Miller, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Chandler Jones. You got 3 of the best pass rushers in the league in the last 5 years there.
Well, DeMarcus Lawrence is. I think he's going to end up. Now that Dallas is, as much as it's hard for me to say this, that linebacking crew is going to let him get in there now. He's a game wrecker.
Yeah.
So is Donald.
Yeah.
So is Sue, though. I mean, I
Yeah,
saw Sue a couple times pushing, and Kansas City has a good offensive line. I think the only better line than Kansas City's is New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
I just hope that the Super Bowl is on par with that game. I don't care if it's
so
51 to 54. I
Right.
just want it to be
want it to
so. I want it to be good because this year you have offenses more than one. If that was New Orleans and Kansas City, I could have seen it being the same score. If New Orleans plays the Rams again, I could see that being the same score. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seattle might even be able to score 40 points.
Right.
You're just going, oh, okay, you got teams now that can
Yeah.
put up some serious
Yeah.
points. And they're good teams. Even their
Yeah.
defense. Kansas City's defense, I just don't know. I remember the philosophy for the Colts when they were able to score so much. Get safeties and DBs
Yep.
and a pass rusher.
Yep.
Don't worry about the defensive line. Don't worry about the linebackers because they're not going to be able to run on you.
Yeah.
They'll slow themselves down. They're going to have to pass the ball. So you only have a defense that stops the pass. That reminds me of that Kansas City defense. It's pretty much designed to slow the pass down.
Yeah.
The Rams, it's not designed to stop the pass. It's designed to stop the offense.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
When they were playing, when they were playing the Seahawks were able to run on them because the Seahawks run.
Yeah.
You're just going, and their defensive backs and they were caught off guard. It's like, wait, I got to get up and we got to get in the box, 8 in the box,
Right.
7 in the box. What are we talking about? Why do we have to do that?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna run us right every play.
All right, so that is our recap from Week 11. We'll see you in a few minutes for our Week 12 picks and thoughts around the league.